Hi guys, the old man's back again. With a new t-shirt. My friend Dick Lynn, the machinist guy I visited last year in his shop. Anyway, quick intro. This was my old, somewhat lashed up chip picker upper, and it's alright up to a point, but it hasn't got many magnets in there. I wanted something bigger, don't we all? So I've made one up, found a piece of not very good I should say, it was dirty aluminum tube, 7/8 I think, yes 7/8, so I had to bore it out a bit, had to cheat there somewhat, used a very long boring bar from each end so I could get the magnets to clear internally. The magnets are 3/4, and then we had to fiddle around with some brass rod, etc. Well, you'll see it all. Anyway, it turned out alright, quite pleased with it, and it's just another one of those small jobs that I have on the list, and I thought, well, I'll get to that before I start something else. So there you are. That's all for now. See you later, all being well. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye. Well, here's a little interim project. I must get on with some bigger stuff soon, but some may remember I made this a long time ago. It's a chip picker upper. I don't think there's much steel in here at the moment. No, it's all aluminum bits. But anyway, you know the principle. You've got magnets down here, and then you pull them up past a catch plate and shake the pieces off. In fact, I've got some chips down here. So if I pull the rod back, they drop off. But I want something bigger and stronger, don't we all? So anyway, I've had these for a while. These are Neodymiums, and these are very strong. What have we got here? Got 10. These are 3/4, and the hole down the middle seems to be 3mm. So I may have to reduce the diameter of some brass to get those mounted. But anyway, all I could find in this in the metal area was this piece of aluminum tube, which is nominally 7/8, and I've just bored it. I've stretched things a bit with this boring bar, coming quite a long way. Then I've flipped it round and done the other, so I've actually now got 3/4 plus, I don't know, 15-20 thou clearance, so the magnets will slide. So we're going to carry on now, and we've got to make 2 Delrin end caps. We've got to make a brass rod for the magnets, so I'll bring you back at some point. Now the problem here is brass rod here. This is 4mm. It's not very straight, and I need to turn down somewhat over 2 inches so I can thread it to go through the magnets. So I think what we'll have to do is try and straighten it a bit more, go right back into the chuck and just try and face this end off, and hopefully just pick it up with a center. Well, that was a fiddle. It's turning down to 3mm. Even that's got quite a little bit of spring to it, so there's a bit, I had to polish that a little bit. So I'm going to cut the end off there and see if we can thread it. Well, I haven't got a button die for 3mm, but it shouldn't be too bad on the brass, this nut. Right, that is what a blasted fiddle. Now the thing is to see, hopefully we're okay. I've got to see if these will go on. Right, now I'm leaving the separators in because I fancy these magnetic fields a bit stronger. Oh, that takes some coming off. Well, this is a bit of a fake up, or will be. I found some brass 6BA nuts and I could only just get a bit of 3mm thread on them. It's not ideal, so what we'll have to do is Loctite down here, and then the magnet block, and then Loctite this end and trim it off, and hopefully that'll do the job. And then there's quite a bit of extra length here, which at the moment I don't need. We've turned some Delrin down to the ID of the tube, 5/8. Now I'm going to make about a 3/16 step to be a fairly tight fit on the ID, which is 0.765, so I've got to take about 55 thou off here. Oh, I love this stuff. Love it. I've got to measure that, see how we're getting on. I have to keep my paper down here to catch the mess. You hate this stuff, really. So that should just give me a push fit on there. So we'll part that off and make the other one. Right, that's number one. I mean, that's all it is. And the second one, we've got to put a 4mm hole in it for the brass. Well, just above 4mm actually. Right, put a little chamfer on there, and the guide hole. We just got to part that one off, and then before we fit that, we've got to make the release collar. Now for the release ring, it's a bit of 38mm, which I think will be adequate for diameter. I don't want to go much bigger. I'm just putting a 1/2 inch down. Yeah, I find this stuff tends to grab quite a bit when drilling, and I'm going on back here slowly, and I think I'll just bore it out with a boring bar later. I've got to go a little bit further. Actually, I've gone up to 3/4, although this drill has a slightly asymmetric grind, but it doesn't really matter. Right, well, that'll speed things up. Just take a little bit out of that, only about 50 thou each side. Just do a rough check on this real quick. Right, well I sneaked up on this, and anybody who's used to Delrin knows that there's a certain amount of elasticity in the material when you're actually cutting, particularly with drilling. That'll go in. I want it to be fairly tight. So just got to part this off. Mess. I just want to get a slight chamfer on that. Right, more mess. Right, let's see if we can get put things together. I forgot to put the camera back on and the light. I was trying to decide what to do with the top of the brass rod. In the end I thought, well, I didn't want to waste a piece of brass, and that's heavy, so I've just turned down this bit of Delrin. I'm just going to part that off, and that's drilled for pretty tight, so I can hope I can just knock that onto the brass rod, 4mm. Right, tidy this up. I might just put a little taper on the top. I don't know whether much of that was visible because of a slightly odd angle here. Anyway, I'll just cut that little titty off the top, and I think it'll do. Okay, here's where we are. This bit of tube wasn't actually... There's a bit of a mark on here which I'll have to put up with, but anyway, we've got the release collar on there. Magnets secured. And we've got to put this end cap on yet, and the whoops, I'm out of frame, and the handle, which is very basic, just doing Delrin. So I'll put it together and have a look. Alright, it's all together. Let me pick up some chips. That's just gone into the chip box. Now there'll always be some that on long chips, some that come back behind the stop collar, but in essence you can pick up a fair bit, which is quite a lot more than my old one. Just as a reminder, that's the old one with only about 4 small magnets, I think, Neodymiums, but so there's the two. Oh, a bit of a traction there. That's the two together. So I'm quite pleased with that. Might help tidying up a bit. Thanks for watching, guys.